We're holding the default, watching for any aggression, but there's 55 seconds left, and eventually you've got to make a move on the attack. So they're going to move in towards the B site, but the rotates are through. NIP have got Shanji already ready behind the spawn, but he's going to be naded out. Now the players in Boathouse are isolated. Shanji able to find one through the smoke, and the kills are going to NIP for a little bit. They have absolutely no idea that Kawanzin was there until the turret saw him, and he's gone. This is starting to go FNATIC's way.
Yeah, and the remaining two players don't really have the positioning to try and break back through. It's awkward for Bosa, though. He gets stuck in the mud, leaving it down into a 2v2 after plant. Both players to the back of site, and there's actually still a paranoia here for the defenders as they look to try and get back in. Oh, that could be such a huge problem. At least if they're holding the doorway, they can maybe force those close-range angles, but NIP used the paranoia just to get through onto the site to break through those choke points, and now they'll look to duel. A shock dart out, Magnum's down, and that is a quick double for Bezany, leaving it into NIP's hands for the pistol round. I like they're giving up a decent bit of control. You know, Bezany just there, he spotted a few players. He doesn't want to swing in all too actively. They've put a smoke down now as well to retake that control and try to stop FNATIC from really getting in. This is nicely handled so far. A cautious round from NIP, and a much needed one as well. Lost the one player and 40 HP on site. This could get a little scary. Kawanzin low. He will eventually get isolated. Ferox's found another. This is already a successful round for FNATIC, taking down 3 players and now leaving Mystic in a clutch. Now, I'll tell you, there's not many more players on this squad you want, but Zhanji, quick enough on that wraparound, will grant NIP a second. They just want to do as much damage as they can in this one. Oh, wow. An early flash straight off the bat is exactly what we're talking about. The HUD hasn't even had a chance to catch up with everything because half the players are already dead. And while Kawanzin has done incredible work. Yeah, no rotation yet. I like this from NIP, just almost gambling. Now the smoke going through into mid could be the fake that they need, but because the drone's gone through elsewhere, already one player being spotted. And on the other side, they're going to have to try and clear some of these closer angles. The paranoia leaves them completely blind. The swing comes through, but the trades are so good. Zhanji coming up with a couple, and now it's left all onto Ferox, then he can't quite close it. But those steps are being heard as well. You got John right up next to the smoke. Got hit there. He made the right call. John's backing off immediately. I love it. Doesn't overcommit, doesn't take any silly plays. We've seen teams do it far too often. This time on the back of the flash, Zhanji, I don't know how he's gotten away with that much. That flash obviously saving his bacon when it came to Hyber not being able to see him. I'm waiting to see if Kawanzin actually goes for that lineup because it doesn't seem like he is. In fact, I think we're about to have a bloodbath within this B side because there's already a multitude of players on the other side. I don't think they've spotted the player in the corner either, so it becomes very awkward for Hyber. In fact, he's left all on his lonesome, and now the wallbangs start to come through on the other side. Both players taking a reasonable amount of damage, but it's Kawanzin that comes off slightly worse for wear. Moster taking a bit of damage, and Bezany's just absolutely wrecked him through the corner of the wall. And they've still got these aggressive positions. Like, Mystic hasn't actually got any control of this A site. A pop flash is being set up. They've got the information as well, and Kawanzin just spamming. There's only 30 seconds, and FNATIC is still just trying to break through this angle, and they've been caught. Of course, it's Magnum finding that kill as well, with an Odin running in through a smoke on his short. But that's all he'll get. And in fact, that's all that FNATIC will get. Mystic's running for the hills, trying to get towards the attacker spawn so he can save this weapon. You see John on his way down middle, just 10 seconds on the clock. But that's quite a long time when they're hunting you this aggressively. You know, we can sit here and talk about Hyber as being an insanely strong duelist. Like I said, shortlist for pretty much every tier 1 team out there, but he's got to be able to put up the numbers. There's a great flash again from Shanji, but he'll be traded out this time. And no one can quite res him back up, but they're not expecting BNJ to be here as well. And he is just getting away with murder. 2 quick kills on the back site, and a spray down for 4. 6-0 NIP, they're not even breaking a sweat. Now straight away, FNATIC are gonna start out this round with a lockdown, but it looks like it's gonna be a big old fake because they're rotating to the B site. In fact, the spike was already waiting outside of B. Oh my God. That is ridiculous for John to get 2 there, and now he knows he's caught them trying to run back. I mean, the players on A don't need to move though because they've got a comfortable advantage to play with at this point. Don't believe your hood. There's only 3 players left for FNATIC. Ooh, nice shot from Hyber. Oh, he's going to catch the second as well. Zhanji down, and, well, now they've at least got a little bit of hope back into this round. John's going to take the wide swing, and Hyber, well, he's just decimating at the moment. B&J might be about to make the same mistake, but I guess they don't expect another player to push through that angle. B&J will be able to clear at least this closer angle, but they've got to get rid of Hyber, who's looking to almost go for the ace at this point, but will fall back.
There's the reveal. They know both players are coming from the market. A 4K for Hyber secured, and there's the ace. Well, we wanted this guy to turn up. We needed him to show something big.
Again, it's looking like we've got that fast-paced push coming through from FNATIC. They waited the time. Hyber's found himself the kill. It's the right click, so his knives are gone. But he's been able to retrieve himself a weapon. The pop flash is solid out from Boaster. And finally, they've managed to take over this A side.
They knew that BNJ was there. He had just popped off one shot. They heard the sound cue. They react instantly. This is a much better round from FNATIC. It again comes on the back of hyper, or should I say hyper aggression, as he goes straight into short. Now we saw that backfire, right? The B main round, he goes in, same pacing, same kind of round, but when he loses, when he dies, it just fell apart. I mean, it all came tumbling down for FNATIC. Boaster was going mid and he died and everything was staggered out. But when it works, this is what it looks like, a flawless round at this point.
They've started using the paranoia as well, just to try and clear out that player towards tree. Because they've been so aggressive around their smokes. Like, it's not one of those spots anymore where FNATIC can just go, all right, we've got our smoke down, we'll just make our way through. No one's going to flash this one, Mitch. Don't worry about that.
Is Shanji big brain? Is he huge? Did he just use the flash on mid, and then he's rotated instantly to short? I almost felt like that was a reaction play, like, oh, Shanji's mid, we got short, go. He's not going to flash through the smoke, and then he's already here, back in that position that he's been in time and time again. But he's going to make that noise. He's going to try to keep them back. And actually, it's dragged some rotations over as well. You know, just a little bit of utility being used up here by FNATIC, and it's really selling it to NIP that they're defaulting back to the same old A play. 4 players on this A side, and one way outside in spawn with an Odin. Still dangerous though, and especially with the recon online, they need to destroy that right away, and they have done just that. What a spam!
Just guess.
Darts.
Actually, they've got the lockdown, but they won't actually cover out the back of the site, and because of that, some of the positions are still going to be hold. Hyber is at least slowing them down a little bit. The remaining 2 are stuck in the back of the site, but remember, there's still one man lurking in the dark. It may not matter, though. BNJ's just gone sprinting in. Now, they need to get rid of Fearoth, and they don't know. They don't know the Boaster's behind. He could just end this round in his own. The first goes his way, and now the panic sets in for BNJ. A solid flank to give them the round, and well, it's now 3 in a row for FNATIC.
But they're not being given anything. And with 45 seconds left, again, we put the pressure onto FNATIC to make their way up to blitz on in. Hyber is going to be spotted and taken down. John is clean with 2 quick kills. NIP have got control over this round, and FNATIC have to blitz out into John, who just keeps on delivering. Fearoth will try his best. 5 HP and ace needed, and it's not happening today.
Many, if any, post-plant scenarios, most of them have just been won by the time the spike actually goes down. And so I don't know how useful that's necessarily going to be. Early utility already expended, and Hyber's actually just gone straight through it! He just dashes into Shandy's face and just takes him out before he can even react with the flash. Benzi's also just gone down to a nano swarm. It leaves B&J as like the lone defender of this site, somehow dancing between the remaining players, keeping things close. Now John comes through, just tapping away at their heads, and this is starting to get dangerous for FNATIC.
I'm not even sure how B&J is still alive. That Hunter's Fury's looking for John, and it almost catches his feet. He noticed at the last second. Oh, and with that kill on the Boaster, the round is already done. Fearoth cleaned up in the end, 8 for NIP. And with the minute on the clock, you know, FNATIC, they've put all their eggs in one basket. They are sat outside B. They're waiting to go through. You're seeing that there's going to be a paranoia, I think, moving up through main. Already spotted that John's up close. I mean, you've got to deal with John. You know this guy. He's going to take 3-4 kills if you don't take him down. He's pushed through with an Odin. What a madman. The Odin wall bang from Fearoth to finally deal with John. This is where the rest of NIP come big. And it's Shanji, the flash again. But only one found on the back of it.
And the remaining players are still yet to rotate through. The paranoia won't really grant anything. Oh, never mind. Blinds Mystic enough that he can't do much, and Fearoth left in a 1v2 scenario, unable to get the spike down, but he picks both of them, but he can't quite get anything. They managed to dodge just through the edge, trying to get something. Oh, there's no way he clutches this with just 10 bullets of an Odin. First kill goes away, but he switches, and now the time becomes the issue. Just 12 seconds left, and BNJ will swing. You've also got an aggressive position already being held by Hyber. He's just going to try and hit the headshot and get out of there, and unfortunately, no headshot to be found.
At least he does the latter, getting out of there safely. Turret going to be destroyed up close. John with the reload, and this Danger Man's now moving into the site. Already tagged up once, flashed up, not able to get too much done at the start, but now here he comes, closing in the distance, and this is where the Frenzy really thrives. The shots aren't going to land, and one headshot's not quite enough, but it has weakened up Magnum, making it easier to be taken down by BNJ or Kawazine, but never mind. In the end, FNATIC take that. You gotta have a little bit of a better performance coming out of the gate, because the warm-up time's gonna be kind of tough.
Also, then they'll switch a player, so there is no real warm-up time. It's like,
well, that's it. That's
you're going to warm up to then
Mm-hmm.
switch anyway, and then you have to warm up again. So they're in a bad spot out of everybody. Of course, this round for NIP is one where they've invested barely anything. They know the alarm bot's down mid, and it looks like they might be attempting to try and bait with it, like just break it and almost force a rotation in the other direction. The problem, however, is they have seen the remainder of the players. So killing off the 3 on short, that only leaves a couple to go in, and they've forced 0 rotation. So the remainder for FNATIC know exactly where they are. They've already been spotted, and Magnum should be able to wire out both players. It wasn't quite as clean as you'd like, but hey, it's not going to matter. They've got themselves another round. And well, this is a straight up B push. There is nothing other than this. They are all going straight through B main, and FNATIC have been... No, I don't think so.
Yes, I mean, at this point, they have to just play hard retake. There's no way to get back in there and try to fight this, surely, but hold on, maybe they're going to pop that flash through. Johnson, the smoke! He's taking a triple! What is this guy doing? Still alive as well, running around and taking heads. This guy is just something else. Firot, the final man standing, as a 1v3 with a Sheriff in hand, and I think I know the end of this story. We'll see. There's damage done at least to Kawazine, but with John still alive.
I've seen someone clutch a situation like this with a Sheriff.
Don't you even start. Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
Not my
It's the next map up as well, and Firot's on the server. I don't want to hear about a Sheriff 1v4 on Split, okay?
He's got a rifle now. And he's just going to leave. To be honest, if he can get even 1 kill and then leave, this is actually a really successful round for FNATIC for a bonus. Of course, they're in a spot where, realistically, winning it would have been ideal just to get them back into a position where they have a good economy and they can actually start to close this out. How much damage can Firot do here? He's got himself 1. Anything more would have been great, but John is he's just lightning fast on those duels.
BNJ is sat there with the spike. He's about to step on into the crosshair. Luckily, it's Kawazine that goes down, though.
Oh, the flash is so solid. Wow, Firot actually manages to find a double. This is looking so clean, and BNJ is the only one left standing. Stuck within B main, the rotation already coming through from Boaster just to deny his spot, and they have players watching on that flank as well. Mystic will catch him with a knife out, but, well, doesn't manage to get much else.
Yeah, the jump keeps him safe. He's stepped back a second just to give a little bit of a clue that he was TPing away.
Statistically, going into the second half is a pretty good sign.
Well, this is going to be quite a fast round. John's already going in there. I'm scared of this guy on the attack with a Blade Storm. He's just attacking FNATIC are too. They're playing a hard retake, and of course they are. Look at what Magnum has to work with.
No one's destroyed the turret. Finally.
Doing 50 damage to Timmy. All right. So we're going to have double lockdowns coming into play. That's going to be an interesting scenario. Hyber already caught 1, but is he ready? Oh, he shouldn't be. Why would he? That's a great kill.
Oh.
A little bit awkward.
The thing is, they only really had pistols in this round anyway, so they're just trying to get what they can. Kawazine with a nice shot, but they've already managed to defuse.
Hyber has some other ideas as well, and he's actually watching the same angle, but he's pulled off it. He's heard a player inside of mid putting up that turret, and he wanted to go and look for anyone coming out of market. This timing is going to be key. Oh, again, they miss each other. Ships in the night, and eventually John will land the shot. And it's Magnum that he's taken down, now swinging wider. Hyber will catch, will trade. And Shanji's losing some HP, but they've got the A site for their troubles.
Yeah, there wasn't much to stop them because of the setup that was in onto mid, so it's the same after plant, which FNATIC have been relatively good at getting back in on. They also have nearly all of their utility. They didn't use
Mystic.
any of it in the early stages of this round.
You naughty boy, Mystic. He's holding it. He knows. Oh, oh no, the timing. Oh, the timing.
Okay, he gets there in the end. It's fine.
Whew, that wasn't an awkward fight. All right, so NIP in a position on site. 3 players left alive. FNATIC are going to be blitzing in. They've even got the Blade Storm to work with here. Hyber looking to find some victims, and there goes Mystic, but NIP just can't find the kills. They need BNJ, the last man alive, to go huge. No one's cleared down below. He's already got 2. BNJ gets it done. 11 rounds for NIP.
Wow.
They start to push in. Hyber going to be finding one from afar. The Odin trying to take him down and doing a damn good job of it. Boaster, oh, he's going to be caught. That play not quite working out. Fearoth will do his best from up above. 2 kills already under his belt. He's ready for more, but has to back out. 10 seconds left. Hunter's Fury to try and tag them, take them down, but he won't be able to deny the spike plants. He won't be able to get the kill with it either.
Close.
And Magnum, well, he almost catches him shifting over towards the boxes. But they've missed it again, and this is so scary. That Odin tucked in the corner. Bezany able to react off the back of it, and that's so beautiful from NIP. NIP were playing that Odin wallbang every single round, so they know well to avoid those early sprays, and it's a fast play in through market. But FNATIC have stacked up with 3 players currently on the site. The weaker weapon's going to be put to the test. Hyber already finding the first, but they've let John right through. He's come in through market, taken the first, and now look at Shanji in through the smoke. This is a textbook play for NIP, apparently. Boaster not able to get anything done. This is left down to Fearoth. He's got to take down the final 3 players, and Spike is right in front of him. He's even upgraded to a Vandal. He's not going to be detected up close, but the flash is about to come around the corner. That is huge for Shanji. Those flashes have been hands down wide open for the taking. There's the flash, information going their way. Now it's time to win those duels, and Magnum's in trouble. He's gone down, but these players are tagged up, and Boaster's taking advantage for 2. That's the man advantage still to play with for FNATIC. Well, that's not quite the TP he was looking for, but it's good because BNJ can then plant the spike, and maybe he'll go up there after. Probably not, hopefully not, because FNATIC are already waiting, and Mystic's picked off his teammate. Oh, well, good night.
It's not the round for Shadow Steps.
With that first round under their belt, FNATIC now face off against
It's a force.
And NIP have quickly taken it into heaven. That is FNATIC caught off guard again. Mystic's going to have to... Oh, wow. That paranoia was perfect, and it even just confirms that he's here. They blitz in from all angles and take him down. Another fantastic execute from NIP. The way these guys apply pressure, you can see that FNATIC just cannot keep up with this pace.
1 enemy remaining.
Jandy already looking like he's put the nail in the coffin. It's left all onto Boaster. 1 versus 4, and well, not really getting the luck that he was probably hoping for, spamming in that smoke.
Coming to round number 3, as you can see, FNATIC aren't going to have the same force buy. It's just pistols. And they've successfully gambled on the right side here for NIP. Moving into the A side, it's wide open, Boaster's down, and now they can just play ranged duels.
Yeah, and the thing for FNATIC here is almost, do you even want to try and give these players the chance to actually farm up their ultimate orb, or if you want to try and die to the spike? Like, you can try and hold them in on the way out, make some cash of your own, maybe get rid of some of the weaponry, but if you're just facing into them, this is just farming for the side of NIP, and that just looked a little disjointed. If you're going to invest, yeah, and then there's not going to be a change. Straight away, paranoia are up so that they can take control in towards the heaven. Magnum just spams through, though, and already finds the opener. Shanji quick up front and almost manages to take the pick, but it's a slaughter up top, leaving just 1 man standing. BNJ, he's been good at clutches. He's been pretty good, man. You gonna let that one sit?
I think so. Let it breathe.
Mystic in a very aggressive position. They did not expect it to be I don't know what the exit strategy was, though. Just a very one-and-done position for him, which, okay, it might catch them off guard. And as I said, they've got the res, so it doesn't really play much in this round whatsoever. It does seem, however, that they've got a good read, because Boaster's already rotating into position.
Big problem, though. There's that other ultimate we mentioned, and it's looking for some players. Oh, he's found them as well. Goodbye, Fearoth. And maybe the spray down. Sure, Shanji doesn't get it, but his teammates converted. The site's theirs, and it looks like the round might be 1v4 now with just Boaster left alive, and he loses his head quite quickly. Reactions there from Fearoth to put the slow on the floor, but that doesn't keep NIP back. Not for long anyways. The nade, it's not going to come through. In fact, they're just allowing these guys to make their way forward, and then Hyber bucks the showstopper. A double kill for that man. That leaves BNJ all alone, and he is found and taken down. FNATIC with a 3rd. That's a round they needed. He's playing reactive on the back of Boaster's flash once he sees them come across. There's the flash, it pops, nade going down, and there's a player coming up close to him, but after seeing that nade, they've decided to back on off. Moving to the A site through main, walling off heaven. That's Control going their way. John taking a bit of a risk going back out, but Hyber narrowly misses the shot, keeping NIP into a 5v5. Oh, Mystic! He's been caught. Great game sense from BNJ.
Yeah, he tries to TP back and it just doesn't work out. They've still got to try and clear this man, and again, that's just so difficult. BNJ just a rock at the back of the site, and well, the problem now is they've had to invest this res and they still haven't got rid of him. He's even just going to maneuver elsewhere, and they haven't cleared John. He just sits in the corner, leaving Fearoth all alone to try and clutch it once again, and BNJ even gets that final kill. He basically a pop straight through it. Now they don't have the flashes available for that, so they're just going to walk straight in dry, but Fearoth only gets one.
They know Mystic's on the back of the side as well from that paranoia, so he's going to be taken down immediately. Hyber might want to try to blitz on site, but look who's waiting for him. John's in the corner. Oh, a blast pack to try to push him into the nade. That's cheeky. Vesni's being caught on the mid lurk too. This opens up an avenue of approach for FNATIC, at least, still having Magnum online as they move towards the site, but that wall's already being used up. Utility's going to be limited. Snakebite to site doesn't find them. Good spam, but not following through for the kill. And well, John's still alive down below, although he'll be dealt with. Magnum in the 1v1 to try and clutch this out, but it's BNJ again on the other side of that smoke. He's tucked into the right, and Magnum won't catch him. Yeah, they're realizing there's probably a push out of the defense here. NIP are trying to catch it.
They're right on the edge of them. Only a couple of players. Like, this is definitely going to be a surprise. And bear in mind, Magnum's the one with the gun in hand. So the first player going down isn't so much of a problem. Shandy, I think he's aware. He's baited him in, but Magnum will win the fight anyway, and then fall back to try and put this pressure onto B once again.
John still tucked in the corner. Look at that. The timing was perfect to distract Mystic, pulling his crosshair away. Nade and Snakebite down to the site, but the spike has made it out successfully, and BNJ waiting in middle to catch that rotation. Finds massive results for that. Hyber got to do it all, and he realizes now that they're rotating. Honestly, he probably just tries to grab a weapon here from one of those downed enemies. I don't even know if he'll want to go for it once he gets that in hand.
Oh, it doesn't seem like he is. He's just going to run back towards the site, maybe try and catch someone else, make things a bit more costly. The one thing that isn't really there at the moment for NIP is that extra economy. So any extra kills he can get could at least make the latter rounds of the half a little bit tougher. They're going to know exactly where he is if BNJ doesn't give him the time of day. I like how it's your man who's the only sane one within the bunch.
Thank you, Fearoth. Why? Oh my god! Oh my god, Boaster!
Oh, no.
I hate it! I hate it so much! They haven't checked it! They're running through! Oh, Boaster! He's only good for the one! That could have been massive, but one kill found. FNATIC on the back foot again.
Now what are you going to do? The double Judge Bucky retake. Things you never want to see. Oh, well, Bezany is not going to be happy with that one. Mystic now he's looking for the ultimate clutch. This would be the biggest flex of his entire career if he was able to somehow pull this one home, and unfortunately, NIP are just giving him no chance.
I would have booked NIP's flight home if they lost this 1v3, to be honest. I would have been sat outside the venue in the truck ready to drive him to the airport. You can't lose a 1v3 to a judge.
For the players on FNATIC, I think a fourth is a lifeline at best.
Well, here comes the paranoia to start. They're worried about maybe a judge up close. I wonder why. Well, he's on the side already. Shanji's blast packing in, opening it up. John trades out. They've got site control. Magnum's going to try and contest.
Oh, no.
That was not pretty. Not pretty at all. 5 versus 2. Mystic grabbing a couple of kills. This maybe makes it doable. And Fearoth's one away from res.
Yeah, there's at least a possibility here. He's going to try and fake out the TP to the side. The problem is the wraparound. There is the kill for Fearoth. Now they can look to try and find the res, but he's dropped down. He's missed on the player, and he's still got caught, but he still manages to land the kills. What have I just witnessed? That's the ugliest clutch in Valorant history. But he's bought himself at least a moment or two, and it looks like they're just setting up for the retake with the rest of the players still being able to run back. He's doing that with a classic, just tapping heads through the utility, and whoa, okay, sure, it will be the site taken from FNATIC, but again, look how fast that rotation's already come through.
Yeah, of course, you got John picking up Mystic there. Another frag for NIP as they gear up for this full push. Boaster trapped down in sewers. He's so far away, and the rest of the team's falling. Fearoth does his best, but only the one to be found initially. That went exactly as you expected in the 1v4.
For that defensive side going in, like I wouldn't really be counting on any team to be able to bring that back, especially not one when you look at FNATIC, who have desperately struggled in recent times to actually play on this attacking side. Bear in mind the last time they played this map, Mitch, they got 0 rounds on the attack, and that was the first half.
Yeah, it's not great actually. Yeah, 0 out of 12.
Yeah, and then you remember the previous
right?
one, you should do, it was 44 rounds. I think they got 3. Now, we then did see in overtime 10 attacking rounds in a row, but this time they can't afford to get 3 in regulation because in case anybody can't do the math, they will have lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you think the guy is like, I'm one with the Force is with me, and just
he's
walks
walking.
out in front of, I am one with the Force is with me, just walks out in front of all of the bullets. That's John.
It's unreal. Here he is catching the rotate. Hey, Mystic. Oh, a little tag, and he's dashing into him. Of course he is.
Hey, he wants to get that Blade Storm. He's trying to edge towards it at least. And
10 seconds.
well, the remaining players, if anything, on FNATIC just have to die. Boaster's found 1, but at this point, yeah, going down is the more important thing just to make sure he gets that additional cash. Now, all in all,
They're playing this one blind.
close hyper.
No need for that now. Boaster's going to be sending some angry messages. I don't think Boaster can get angry. I think it's possible. That's the plan secured, at least for FNATIC. And now 5 versus 4. NIP will try to just do what damage they can.
Yeah, chances of much, slim, but they do still have the paranoia. That's why he sat outside the back of the site. He's looking to just try and almost create an incredibly awkward position for the remaining players of FNATIC as the rest of his team come through. Now, they've got to try and break the wall up top, which is going to give information that there's at least players wrapping back around. And they are all kind of locked into the site. Now, sure, they had the exit through B. There's the paranoia. Fearoth has to drop down, but he has cover. And that's the main thing. B&J, though, actually wins that battle. They can't really lose too much more. Bear in mind how many buy rounds are probably going to come back through, and there was a chance for B&J to do some real damage. But again,
The way their attack side went, every time that they go for space, they seem to find it successfully. Now, FNATIC were hoping they would do that. Again, they were waiting for that push to come through, but it doesn't. And so 40 seconds left on the clock. They're going to go for this B split. But limited information. Luckily, they are gambling towards the right side. And that wall is going to completely block out BNJ. The blind doesn't do that much for them, and BNJ goes down. Esni following as well. That's the round secured for FNATIC. NIP have to pretty much go for a save.
Yeah, dismantled. Pick them apart one by one. Controlled and collective from FNATIC. Definitely one of the best rounds we've seen from them. Not the most exciting, but one where they didn't really give them an edge, didn't really give them any position for those players to sort of pop off as we've seen in previous rounds. And if there was ever going to be a way back in for FNATIC, it needed to be on a round like this.
FNATIC moving in towards the B site. We got some aggression out of NIP. Banjo's leading the charge. He's inside of B main. And I mean, this is going to be a double push into a Vandal that Magnum is more than ready for. John, though, still manages to find one peeking into this B site. That's all that he gets done, though. Well handled. FNATIC get the site. They get the plants. Now those 2 rifles on NIP again kind of start thinking, hey, I like the A site this time of year. It's just pretty nice. Go hang out for a bit.
It doesn't seem like they're giving it up just yet, though. Both players within heaven
have money.
Maybe hoping that there's going to be an angle to face back into Fearoth. Looking a little different to normal, but he's going to try and sneak his way back from behind. Already one ended and knows the second is there and not overfacing, but he will eventually get the final kill.
No, it wouldn't. That would be terrible. Please don't ever add that. 35 seconds left. FNATIC are trying to blitz in through the A side, or at least trying to fake it out. They're making some noise. They're taking down Shanji and hoping that John's going to come pushing on through and try to take that space. But John, I love this guy, man. He makes the... So, a lot of players are too aggressive, right? They can't stop W King, but John makes good decisions. And when he does get stupidly aggressive, he wins.
Oh, it could be a free kill, but it's only going to be the one. Not anything more. Again, they've managed to bait away the rotation, and it was Esni hastily moving his way back forward. A swing, though, from Boaster. Gives up the kill. And now that they've got the res, they've managed to bring things back into a winnable position for NIP. Hyber spot, though, could be everything. They need to make sure they clear him. He's faked the footsteps, though. It's so smart. They used the run to leave one player behind, and now it's all onto Mystic. Attempting the clutch, but he's stuck in the corner. The nade has done so much. There's no chance for him here. An oversight from FNATIC, but more importantly, a fantastic retake from NIP. Looks like the same sort of pressure put in, but they did fake it the last time they did this, so I'll be curious to see if there's a rotation.
Oh, he's gone over the trap, but they noticed it's okay. It's all good. Ready for that. Here comes the showstopper. Hyber has to wait a moment. Oh, and that actually sets off his blast pack at the wrong time. They've left the site, but at the end of the day,
okay.
it's done its job. It took space, it got them on the site, but Mystic with a double is absolutely insane. All right, playing on into the Viper's pit. BNJ goes down. Bezany, 10 HP left, and he's good for one. I could see so much more happening there with how these rounds have gone, but FNATIC have dealt with it. Left Shanji to clutch it.
Yeah, maybe one of the most impactful from the shadows you've ever seen. Mystic just teleports behind the whole squad. I don't think you see that work in pro play very often.
For about 2 years
Most of the time everyone goes, they're almost trying to set this up so that Jandy can nade them back as BNJ goes for his initial pick so that it isn't just a straight up swing and trade. The time though, Mitch, starting to tick down. 35 seconds left on the clock, and I think the B-side play looks fairly obvious.
Oh no, the shorty's got one, and now it's up close. Swapped out to a Vandal. BNJ already got a second. Down below, he's dealt with. The Bookie's come through for more. What is that? Bezany's got a double with a Bookie, and Boaster's 1 HP. NIP have just come into this round with a shorty and some pistols time.
4 rounds in a row needed for FNATIC. Otherwise, they are going to be heading into that lower bracket match, I believe, versus Zeta, who had real struggles in their first game versus DRX, but I think it's safe to say that FNATIC's form right now is nowhere near the level of DRX. Kawazin, he's not had much to do so far this game with how many B takes we've had, but the first time he's asked of, he's going to find a couple.
This is going to be tough. Already with the man disadvantage for FNATIC. No ultis in their favor.
Yeah, this is an ultimate trap, basically. The flash, all it's really going to do is catch the cam, but they have the information. The swings there from Zanji, but he actually goes down. An opportunity, but still 2 players within that site is going to make things incredibly difficult. The timing of the peak's good for Bezany, but he gets nothing done. John, though, he's that knife in the back. They didn't know he was here. Swings out already with a couple, and it is done. It is NIP to send FNATIC into that lower bracket, and they will go through to face off against DRX, a team that definitely came into this as one of the underdogs. But FNATIC, with their couple of stand-ins, they haven't looked right today.
There's no sleeping on NIP after this. I mean, FNATIC didn't play the best game we've ever seen, but NIP have played some beautiful Valorant right here and now.
Yep.
That's the kind of gameplay that will stand up against the best teams in the world. And FNATIC have got to go back to the drawing board now. You got to hope that maybe they can warm up coming later on into the event. Every single day that they get is like gold dust at this point because they've only had 8 or 9 days to prep together. Let's hope the 10th is going to be the charm. NIP, though, certainly a team to keep an eye on now moving through the upper bracket.